Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of Campfire Tales. It's a horror. It came out in 1997. It's an 18, an hour and 28 minutes. Amazon is 4.6 out of 5 and IMDb is 5.8 out of 10. They're both the same, so I'll just read the Amazon one. Teens entertain one another by telling an anthology of famous urban legends with a modern twist, including Makeout Point, monsters, psychopaths, and ghosts. So there's quite a lot of people here, so I'll just kind of, because there's quite a few stories. So there's three directors. We have Matt Cooper, who directed Perfect Opposites, Martin Kunert, K-U-N-E-R-T, who directed Counterforce, and David Semel, S-E-M-E-L, who directed Main Justice. Writer, well, we have Martin again, who did the story and screenplay of, and also wrote Faces of Fear. Eric Maines, who also did the story and the screenplay, and he also wrote Faces of Fear. And Matt Cooper, again, who also did the screenplay and was also doing the screenplay or writing of Perfect Opposites. Producers will have 8 of them, but with producer on, we have Eric Maines again, with also produced 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Very good film is that. I enjoyed that film. It's a good film. Laurie Miller, who produced They Came to Play, and Larry Weinberg, who produced Applejack. Music was by Andrew Rose, who did the music for Carnival of Souls. So the cast, I've kind of picked the main ones in a way. Not all of them are from the same, like there's a few stories, but I haven't picked all the stories. So we have Kim Murphy, who was Alex, who was in Level 9, the series. J.R. Ferguson, who was Cliff, who was in Mad Men, the series. Christopher Masterson, who was Eric, who was in Malcolm in the Middle, the series. Christine Taylor, who was Lauren, who was in The Wedding Singer. Ron Livingston, who was Rick, who was in Band of Brothers, the series. Jennifer McDonald, who was Valerie, who was in Bad Blood. Alex McKenna, who was Amanda, who was in the series Crossing Jordan. Glenn Quinn was Scott, and he was in the series Angel. And Jacinda Barrett, who was Heather, who was in Poseidon, the remake, not the original. Locations where we have San Bernardino National Forest in California, Los Angeles, California, and also the Pink Motel and Cadillac Jack's Diner in Sun Valley. And a trivial thing here is I wasn't a great fan of the song. The end credits features a cover of the 1962 song Monster Mash by the female-fronted punk rock band Bobsled. The cover hasn't been released elsewhere, and by the time the film came out in 1997, the band had already split up. And to be brutally honest, when you hear the song, you can understand why. Now, this is actually a review for somebody who was curious about the film. They'd seen it, so they kind of like said, "Oh, can you do a review of it?" So I thought, yeah, okay. So it starts with audio from Rockin' Rob, who's talking away. And he says, this is like, I think the first story, he says, it's talking about Willie the Hook Peters, who escaped from a local insane asylum to stay safe and cool with this tune. It's just like, I think if I heard that. And then some 50s music kicks in. Now, it's black and white at this moment. The couple were chilling at a secluded place. Of course, the woman thought she saw something, so she was crapping herself. I couldn't see a damn thing at all when she's going, oh, there's someone there. I thought, where? I can't see all. And then it's literally, after something happens, it's modern in colour, with this car driving with 4 people inside. We could only hear them. We saw the car driving, and there were 4 people talking, but we couldn't see inside the car. And this was the first 4, which was Alex, Cliff, Eric, and Lauren. They were the main 4 sitting around the campfire doing the talking. Now, they must be very savvy, because they wanted to start a fire because they're lost due to this accident. And because they're all over the road at the first point. And voila, it started. It's pretty good, I must admit, the fire that they created. But yeah, this is how they end up telling the story around the campfire, because they're lost and cars broken down. So we, at this point, I was like, I think this is the group for the Tales, because they're in the ruins of a church reading about two people who were hacked to death in the same location. Like, do you know that there was just reading here, there were two people hacked to death in this location? It was like, great, yeah, that makes me feel so much better. Now, first story was about Rick and Valerie. Yeah, I did write their names down. So they're newlyweds, and they want to see some caverns. They've literally just got married, and they're driving this like RV thing. You know, they're like not camper vans, but the big camper van things. And they just met some dudes saying to drive to the highway or they'll get you. And it's like, oh, okay. Now most people book a hotel, they go to a beach, they go to a foreign holiday when they have a honeymoon. But no. These guys decide to just drive to caverns in the middle of the night in a place that they don't know. What could possibly go wrong? So I saw, well, kind of, the first death. This poor dude disappeared under his car, and then this blood just oozed out. We never saw the guy. He just disappeared underneath the car. So you're in a secluded place. You've got no petrol. It's the dead of night. Some weird guy outside. So do you wait for daylight because you've got no petrol, or do you just set off on your own, hearing noises whilst your new wife is alone in the van? It was actually a good story, was that one. I enjoyed that story. That was good. Now Cliff is on the second. Got Cliff on here. Not Cliff. Scott. I don't know who it was. I think it was. I think the person's name might have been Cliff. I ain't got a clue. Anyway, it isn't Cliff from the four of them sat there. Don't know. Can't remember. Oh no, Cliff is on with his second story, so I can't even read my own writing. Jeez, how bad is that? Because Cliff spoke about the first story, and then he's talking about the second story. So I was like, is anybody else going to say anything? Now, Amanda and her family, this is the story, live in this small house, I would not say. All houses in America large, with double garages and a sprawling ground floor. I mean, we've all seen it in films. You know, they open the living room door, the front door, and it's just a big, massive... I mean, it doesn't have to be, like, huge staircases, but it's quite open, with a huge kitchen that's, like 5 times bigger than my living room. And it's just like, is everybody's house like this? I'm pretty sure they're not, but usually the ones in the suburbs, they always show them to be, like, the massive gardens at the front, massive gardens at the back, huge house. I mean, I assume people have them, but I mean, it always seems to be the case. The sister kind of looked familiar. I thought, because I kept thinking each time I saw the film, the stories, I was like, is that the same one in the same film, same story each time? The same, but it wasn't. It was just similar. So you see one, then you see. Anyway, Amanda's talking to Jessica on a computer messenger type thing. When did it come out? It came out in 1997. Okay, that makes sense. It's not modern style. It is early internet. I think the internet came out in the early 90s. So you can tell it's not brilliant. But it's not actually a girl. Now, it's quite scary, because even nowadays there's some creeps out there. I mean, how many times do we see, like, stuff that on the news or something, and that kids can be talking to another kid, thinking they're talking to a kid, but it's not. And so, yeah, it was kind of like, okay, and that was that was 1997, so well played to them to actually put that out on the film. So, her and the dog have just been covered in mud from in the garden. They were just messing around underneath a bush or something. Right? But she cleaned the dog's paws in seconds by wiping his 2 legs and completely ignoring the paws. It's like, you do know that mud is on the paws. It's not on his bloody leg. It's on his paws. I know. I've got a dog. And there's times when I haven't cleaned the dog properly, and bloody hell do you know it. It's just like, what's this stain here on the carpet? Oh, for God's sakes, it's a mud. It's okay if it's mud. It's not, if you know what I mean. But I did like the second story. That was cool. So Alex is on with her story. I think there was another story somewhere else. I can't remember. No, I think it was just these ones. Or maybe there was another. Who knows? I can't remember. But it must be cool to ride a motorbike across America. Finding new places. We see it again. This dude, I think his name is Rick, is just hopping onto his bike, just setting off, going all over the place, enjoying the scenery, finding new places to go. You know, you try that in the UK, you got no chance. I mean, we've all seen random signs in the UK, and you think, oh, where's that go? What's this strange little lane down there, or something like a country lane? Where does that go? Probably to a dead end. But nobody goes down them. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. Anyway, it was all good for him until his bike broke down. But luckily for him, there was a house nearby. So that's the dog again. It's just whining behind me. So the girl in the house can't speak. And again, am I going nuts? Is that Heather? Is this Heather? Because this is the girl from the final episode. I'm like, is that the same one from the first story? I'm getting confused, and it kept looking. I know it wasn't. It looked nothing like her. It was quite funny watching her sort of saying where her dad is, because she doesn't speak. She was doing like charades. It's just like, why didn't she was like trying to show where he is, because he was out riding a horse. But she had a chalkboard, but it was still funny watching her try to explain where he was. And I thought, why don't you just write it down? He wrote everything else down. And again, the third film was good. A story, even. Anyway, the end credits is that Monster Mash. Like, I was watching it, I was like, another cover, great. But this just didn't do it for me, that song. It was just like, no. I've heard some good covers of it, and I've heard some crap ones, but this was pretty dire. Anyway, overall, there were great stories. Nothing too gory, if at all. So you probably think, well, why isn't it a 15? Like a lot of things, like Creepshow and stuff like that. Because there was a little bit of nudity in the first story, hence probably the 18. That's why I think it was. Whereas nowadays it wouldn't be that bad anyway, until you put a couple of swear words in that were a bit more intense. But you know, that's the 90s. For me, it's a 7. I actually enjoyed watching the whole thing. It was very good. Okay, well, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of Campfire Tales. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other game reviews, film reviews out there. Quite a lot of horrors, so you'll probably find something you might like. Leave a comment below. Have you seen this film? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy all the little mini stories, as it were? Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.